Okay, this video is for you if you are working on day 2 in App Inventor and you need some help. I'm just going to take you through the entire assignment. So what you want to do is have MIT App Inventor open, and then I would suggest that you have the instructions open as well. Either have a hard copy of them or have them pulled up on your screen. Okay, this is day 2. You're going to be switching between the instructions and App Inventor. And I'm just going to talk you through it step by step. And if you need to, feel free to fast forward and get to the section that you need. Okay, I'm going to start off real easy. We're going to start a new project. You're going to call this day 2. Remember, no spaces in App Inventor. I'm going to put EX after mine just so I can keep track of what I'm doing as an example. Yours can just be day 2. I'm going to hit OK. On this assignment, we start out very similar to day 1, where you are going to create a canvas with a ball on it that bounces. And when it hits the edge, it bounces off the edge as well. So this part I'm going to go through rather quickly because we did it in day 1 as well. So when you're on here, you're first going to have a canvas. You're going to pull canvas over. And remember that canvas is going to be under drawing and animation. You're going to grab it and drop it over here. And remember, as you're dropping things in on the viewer section, the component section is basically making an outline of it. So right now we're on the canvas. Then we're going to make some changes to its properties, how it looks. The first thing is the height and the width. The instructions tell you to make it 200 pixels, but I told you in class to choose Fill Parent. So you're going to hit OK. And on the width, Fill Parent, and hit OK. What that does is it puts the canvas across the entire device. So when you go to check your work, whether you're using a phone or a tablet, the canvas will cover the entire part of the screen. Then the next thing you're supposed to do is change the background color to green. So I'm going to click here, choose green. Okay, and that's everything you have to do for the canvas. Now we are on your instruction page. We are on number 6. We're going to grab, actually number 5, we're going to grab a ball and pull it onto the canvas. On the ball, we are going to, okay, we've got it highlighted here. On properties, we need to change 2 things. We're going to change the speed property to 1.0 and the interval to 10. So speed is right here. I'm going to make that 1. We're going to make the interval 10. Okay. All right, now it's time to make the ball bounce. So we're going to switch over to the blocks screen. We're going to click on ball. We're going to grab when ball 1 edge reached. Okay, when ball 1 edge reached. We got to tell it what to do. We're going to use call ball 1. This means when the ball reaches the edge, tell, call means kind of like to tell. We're going to tell the sprite, which is the ball, to bounce off of the edge. Okay. Here you're going to choose get edge and attach it. Okay. So this is all of the programming that you need for the ball. Now if you were going to test this right now, you would turn your tablet on, you would go to Connect and AI Companion. Then you will either scan the QR code or type in the 6-digit code to test it. When you test it, you should see the ball bouncing around until it hits the edge, and then it'll bounce off. Okay, we are now ready for this section on buttons. Okay, so we're going to go back to Designer. We're going to be in the User Interface drawer or section. We're going to grab a button. And this button is supposed to go under our canvas. So you're going to pick it up, drag it down here. See the blue line show up? Okay, that's where I'm going to release. And my button shows up below the canvas. Remember, my canvas is green, so I can tell it's below. Okay. All right, so we need 2 buttons for this one, so we're going to drag a second button down. So we have text for button 1, text for button 2. Essentially what we're creating is we are making a button that will speed up the ball when it's bouncing, and we're making a second button that will slow it down. Okay. So to get the buttons ready, we're going to be over here on button 1. I'm going to start with button 1, and I'm going to rename it to button speed up. Here's rename. Still, you cannot have spaces here, so that's why I use the underscore. And button 2, we're going to rename button speed down. Okay. Over here in the components section, the reason we rename them is for the programmer. This is for you, okay, so that you can tell what you're working on. If this just said button 1 and button 2, you'll probably be able to keep track of that for now, but once you get working on complicated apps and you have, say you have 12 buttons, it's going to be hard to keep track of what button does what if you haven't named it in a way that will remind you. So that's why we practice renaming like that. Okay, to do the next part, which is to change what the button looks like for the user. Okay, so the person using the tablet or the phone, we're going to click on button speed up. In the properties section, you're going to scroll down, and where it says text, instead of having text for button 1, you're going to take that out and you're going to type in, speed up. You can use spaces here because that's just what's going to be on the button. If you hit enter, you'll see over here in the viewer, the button now says speed up. Okay. Properties is for the user. I'm going to do the same thing for button 2. I'm going to click on it, scroll down where it says text for button 2, delete that, and put in, speed down, and enter. So now you have a button that says speed up and speed down for the user, and we have renamed it for the programmer here. All right, if you were following along on your instructions, you are now on number 7, where we are going to actually do the programming. Okay, we're going to do the programming now. So we're going to start off on the block screen. That's where we do most of our programming. We're going to go down to the speed up button so that we get the blocks that have to do with speeding up. And we're looking for a control block. When the speed up button is clicked, we want something to happen. So we're going to grab this, and what we want to happen is we want it to go faster. Okay, so we're going to go back to button speed up. Oh, sorry, ball 1. We go to ball 1 because we're telling it what we want to happen. We are going to set the ball speed. I believe that's the green one. There it is. Oops, not that one, this one. Set ball speed. And then we need, from the math section, we're going to need a block that has space plus space. Okay, so blank space plus blank space. So here he is. Grab him and pull him over. Okay, under this first blank space, we're going to need whatever the ball speed is, the current ball speed. So we'll go here to ball 1. We're looking for a green block that just says ball speed. Okay. I'll pull this over a little bit so it doesn't get out of your range. And then plus, we're going to need a number here. So again, we go back to math, scroll all the way up. This is the number block. Right now it has a 0 in it. Fit it into the space, and you're going to change that number to a 1. Okay. So see, if you just look at this programming and think about it, this is saying when you click the button that's called speed up, it's going to take however fast the ball is currently going and add 1 to it. Okay? So when you think about it, and this is what I love about programming, to do the speed down programming, it's going to be the exact same except minus 1. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that while we're here. So we're on speed down. When the speed down button is clicked, we're going to go back to set ball speed. And we need to go to math. And this time we need blank minus blank. Whoops, that one doesn't do it. I thought I could just change it. Whoops, math. Hold on, I'm clicking on the wrong stuff. Let me delete that. Back to math. Here's the minus. And ball speed is going to go in here. We need a number block, back to math. We're going to do the 0. Click it. Change that to 1. Okay, so our programming is done. You're ready to test it. So if you're using the emulator, you would do connect emulator. If you're using a tablet, connect AI companion. Okay, and give it a try. I can't actually show you mine work. Well, I guess I could pull up the emulator. Let me see if it'll work for us. You know, that emulator works sometimes and doesn't work sometimes. Still loading, still loading. I think I'm going to pause this for just a second.